All right. Hi, I'm Alan Tripp. I'm founder and CEO of Motimatic, and we're in the automatic motivation business. But before I started Motimatic, I actually have had a long career working in student engagement, student success. Motimatic's actually my third venture-backed business. Two previous businesses, Score, focused on K-7 learners in a fun storefront environment, served more than 1 million students. Inside Track served more than 1 million students there as well. You may have heard the announcement just yesterday, Inside Track was acquired by Strata. And now with Motimatic, I have a very scalable business model where we're hoping to serve millions and millions and millions of students. As I said, I've been working on student engagement, student success for most of my career. And I feel like now it's a more challenging time than ever before for university administrators who want to increase engagement and success. And I think there's a couple reasons for that. One is students are incredibly distracted by their different social media apps and games and all kinds of stuff that takes their attention away from being engaged as a student, from being engaged in the materials they're supposed to be mastering. On top of that, they just don't want to read emails. I'm sure many of us have experienced that. My own teenage sons don't want to read emails. And it's harder and harder to communicate with them. But you know, at Motimatic, we had this new idea, which is, what if we try to speak to them in a format they're used to, in a place where they're spending lots of time? So we actually built a system that enables us to serve messages that inspire them and remind them and guide them over advertising networks. So these are messages that appear in social media and various websites that they're visiting that remind them about the benefits of being a student, et cetera. So what does that look like? Here's an example of Sarah, who's a brand new student at Keystone State. And you know, like most students, she's super distracted, she's super excited, she's a little overwhelmed. But one thing that's different about Sarah is that she goes to a university that uses Motimatic. And now, when she goes to check her favorite apps and sites, she will occasionally encounter in her pathway messages that have been put there by Motimatic. And in fact, she's going to see about 10 or 12 messages a day. Many of them look like public service announcements. They're very subtle. We combine expertise in behavioral science and advertising techniques to develop the messages. And they either remind students to take a particular action or try to inspire them to do something, or inform them better, or enhance the perceived value of staying in school and graduating. Once we have a student in our system, we're able to serve messages to them wherever they go, whatever device they use and whatever sites they visit. And even the ultimate time-wasting site, Reddit, can become a source of inspiration where we can subtly remind someone about the importance of setting and achieving goals. Something we're doing that's really powerful is based on the concept of social proof. Social proof, you're very likely to do what your perceived peer group does. So we are giving students a virtual peer group in their experience. And the way we do that is we collect a group of volunteer students. We call them the Motivation Corps. They post positive messages, encouraging messages, positive outlook on sites and pages that we manage. And then we're able to take the best of those and promote those into in this case, into the Facebook news feed of one of our target students. So it's essentially a virtual peer group of students who all have a positive attitude and expect to graduate. And then about 10 or 15% of the messages use the branding of our customer university. And these are usually related to specific features or benefits offered by the university, as well as registration reminders and administrative type communication. Interestingly, we give every student a chance to opt out. We explain to them, you know, this is a great new program your university is offering. You'll see reminders and helpful hints and tips as you travel around the internet. And in fact, you're going to see fewer advertisements as a result of this. These messages are actually going to be replacing ads that you would normally see. And we give them a chance to opt out. We get about 1.5% opt-out rate. And we've done a number of large-scale controlled experiments, and this is the biggest one. We've gotten very encouraging results. And what you can see here is that over time, we started with 2 groups of approximately 1,500 students, randomly allocated into 2 groups. And one group got Motimatic and the other didn't. What you see, for example, if you look at the blue line, is the percent of the original group that remains enrolled over time, over 3 different semesters. And you can see that the blue group, the students that are getting the Motimatic messages, are persisting at a significantly higher rate than the students without the messages. And at this point, the lift there is actually about 4.5 percentage points. So if you compare the 2 groups, the group that's been getting Motimatic is about 10% bigger today than the group that has not been getting Motimatic. So we're excited about those results, and great financial return for the university, but of course their mission is to graduate students, and that's something else that they're excited about. As I said, everything we do begins with behavioral science, so we brought together in one company behavioral scientists, advertising experts, and advertising technology experts to do what we do. One interesting thing that we've come up with is that we actually organize all our messages into channels of content, and that enables us to customize the student experience. So, for example, a student who's getting a Master's of Nursing at Keystone State would be subscribed to these channels of Motimatic content. Graduate students reach her goals, nursing, and a special branded channel for the university that she attends. The system we've built is sophisticated. We've got more than 1,000 messages in our library. And as I said, we're serving 10 or 15 messages every day to students. So it takes a fairly meaty system to manage all that activity and serve students effectively. And it's super easy to start. Universities basically flip a switch, and it scales to thousands of students overnight if that's what you want. So good, my time's up, and thank you very much.